Hi, I hope everyone is well and have had a nice Christmas and New Year. This is a video theorising the real meaning behind the recent Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight and events around it. As has been discussed widely, it is obvious this fight was a Masonic ritual. Jake Paul is a character created by the Freemasons and secret societies. Boxing is run by Freemasons, and the symbolism is there for all to see. In this video, I will highlight some of the symbolism on show, as well as provide a theory as to the real meaning of the fight and the subsequent car crash, which I believe is about the victory of Jesus Christ over the church in the new age of Aquarius. This fight has shown how boxing is just a microcosm of the world. The people at the very top of the pyramid order these fights as rituals for coming events. The promoters are the middlemen further down the pyramid, in it for the money, taking orders from their Masonic masters to stage the fight. Note the word stage. Perhaps with no or little knowledge or interest in the true Masonic meaning of the fight. And finally, the fighters themselves are the tools, given their payday, but completely used and sold, unaware of what is going on. This is particularly the case for Joshua. He is just being used. Other sections of the pyramid play their part, for example, the media and technology companies, to publicise the ritual to the world. It's the same the world over, with news, economics, politics, and the rest. You can see how the pyramid is starting to crack. Non-members of these societies, like you and I, are starting to wise up to the system in this internet age, potentially knowing more about how it works than many of the initiates, as the system exposes itself. The pyramid is on borrowed time and will soon fall, as shown at the end of the short film iPet Goat 2. The destruction of the pyramid is part of the plan for the end of this age. Let's go into the symbolism of the fight. The fight took place in Miami, which will be flooded by the La Palma tsunami, an event which will be man-made to symbolize the coming age of Aquarius, the age of the water bearer. Biblically, water means God's spirit, purification and salvation, but also judgment, as in Noah's flood, and trials. With the La Palma tsunami, they are implementing the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. As God's spirit and judgment is poured onto the people of the earth, so will they literally create a flood. I believe they will make the La Palma tsunami so obviously a man-made false flag event that this will be the event that finally starts to wake the masses up to the world we actually live in, one which is controlled by secret societies where every big event is masterminded by a centralised group of people. As I have shown in my other videos, I believe they have even told us the date, the 5th of November, a date they have been telling us for over 420 years with the rhyme, remember, remember the 5th of November, when King James, who commissioned the most famous version of the Bible, survived the gunpowder plot. The United Nations openly states they selected the 5th of November as the World Tsunami Awareness Day, as it is a forward-looking day when many lives were saved due to proactive actions. However, will it also set off the fireworks, World War III, paving the way for the Masonic Messiah, aka the Antichrist, to enter the stage as fake peacemaker and leader of the New World Order, looking like this role is destined for William. The fight was Jake Paul's 14th fight. 14 is 7-7, which is V11V11 in Roman numerals, which is 511-511, which is remember, remember, the 5th of November. This fight was Anthony Joshua's 33rd fight. I don't really need to say much more. 33 degrees of Freemasonry, the third of the angels that originally rebelled against God. Jesus died at 33. 33 is 3 cubed, which is 27, which is 3 times 9, or 3 times 6 reversed. 27 is also 2 sevens, as we know. 2 511s, remember, remember the 5th of November. Jake Paul was 28 years old at the time of the fight. 2 8s are 16, which is 5 plus 11. 2 8s could also represent Revelation chapter 8, verse 8, which is the second trumpet of Revelation, note trump, which I believe is La Palma. which, as it says, "And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood." Anthony Joshua is 36 years old, 3 sixes. As I've said in my other videos, the Alice in Wonderland scene with the 12 figures in the short film I Pet Goat 2 could well symbolise the new age starting in 2036. Could 3 sixes also represent this? AJ, the letters AJ, as Anthony Joshua is often known as, represent the age of Aquarius. AJ in simple gematria is 11, the A being the first letter of the alphabet, J being the 10th. As Rick Clay showed back in 2008, 11 is associated with the age of Aquarius, as Aquarius is the 11th astrological sign of the zodiac. That is why we are now seeing so many references to 11 and 1111. I find not just in public life, but I also find in my private life as well. Just as at the beginning of the age of Pisces, when Jesus was born, there is so much symbolism of the number 12. For example, the 12 disciples, because Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. Interestingly, AJ is 66 in English gematria, which is 11 times 6. 11 is, as we know, the age of Aquarius, and 6 is Virgo, the 6th sign of the zodiac, the rebirth. In Hebrew gematria, AJ is 601, which is the 110th prime number. 110 in gematria is, of course, 11 in numerology, which is Aquarius. Of course, Joshua is the modern name for Jesus, who was originally called Yeshua, who tells us in Luke 22, verse 10, "Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall be a man to meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house." A house in the Bible is an astrological age. Jesus is telling us here to go into the age of Aquarius. Whether mainstream religion likes it or not, Scripture is full of astrological references. It is undeniable. On to Jake Paul. In numerology, Jake Paul is 77 in simple gematria. Jake is 616 in Hebrew gematria. 616 is the number of the beast in early manuscripts like Papyrus 115. Interesting, that is 511. It wasn't 666. Jake is 27 in simple gematria. Jake is short for James, who was the English king who commissioned the most famous and widely used version of the Bible. Paul is 281 in Hebrew gematria, the 60th prime number. 60, of course, represents completion, 60 minutes in the clock. The Apostle Paul is also the person who is most responsible for the creation of the religion of Christianity as we know it today. He wrote 13 or 14 books of the New Testament. Some Christians believe Paul to be Antichrist in nature, undermining the teachings of Jesus Christ through beliefs such as salvation through faith alone. So does Jake Paul represent the religion of Christianity, the church, as opposed to Jesus, as represented by Joshua in this fight? As theologians such as Walter Weiss have shown, I think it is becoming clear that the church will become unified under one umbrella again, Rome, and will be exposed as the beast system. As we say, all roads lead to Rome. The book of Revelation shows us this beast will be destroyed. Joshua knocked out Paul in the 6th round, i.e. 33, and also Virgo is the 6th astrological sign of the zodiac, showing the rebirth of Jesus Christ. Does this show us that the fight was actually a Masonic ritual for Jesus defeating the beast of Revelation, which is the church? As shown in I Pet Goat 2, the church will be destroyed at the end of this age, with Jesus returning for the new age of Aquarius. Finally, on to the subsequent car crash in Nigeria, where 2 of Joshua's trainers died on the 29th of December. The 29th of December is 311 days out from the 5th of November. The 64th prime number, 2 8s, 8 times 8. Again, we have the theme of 8 times 8 and the connection to the 5th of November and Revelation chapter 8, verse 8. For some weird reason, Joshua was topless in the car, with no shirt on. Yes, boxers go around topless in the gym and the boxing ring, but they don't wander around the streets of Nigeria topless. As others have said, it was a very strange scene. Jesus was naked on the cross. Jesus died on the cross alongside two people. Interestingly, two people died in the car crash, but Joshua survived. Does this symbolize that whilst the church and the religion of Christianity will fall, that Jesus will live on and thrive? What does this mean for Anthony Joshua's future career? Will he come back and defeat Tyson Fury in his next fight, the 34th fight of his career, 3 for the compass, 4 for the square? Does this symbolize the spirit of Jesus overcoming Fury? And will Joshua complete the triangle and capstone of the pyramid and come back to win the world title for a 3rd time, emulating the only other man to do this, the greatest, Muhammad Ali? One big ritual. Thanks for watching.